Well, there it is, Echelop in your rearview mirror. How many times have you seen that when you've looked behind? One of nature's finest laxatives. If anything's going to make you drive better, the sight of that in your mirror probably will. What's that got to do with us? Well, it's because this week we're at Greater Manchester Police's driving school, and anyone who rides a bike in Greater Manchester will start their life here. I'm joined by Sergeant Mick Bird. Sergeant Mick, you're one of the instructors here at the driving school. So anyone who rides a bike in Greater Manchester are trained by you or one of your colleagues. They come here.
That's correct, yeah.
That's right. So what kind of people come here? Did they come here by choice, the police officers, or did they have a choice?
They apply for this course to decide themselves whether they want to be a motorcyclist, put an application in, and providing the Chief Superintendent allows it, they come on the course.
Right. So do you get non-bikers coming here, or are they already bikers? Or is
No, we do learner riders as well.
Yeah.
We do a 3-week learner rider course and a 5-week advanced course, which is for people who have full licences.
Yeah. And you must get some officers coming who maybe own their own bikes, Fireblades, come in and think perhaps they can show you a thing or two. Does that happen?
Well, we get a few of those arriving, yes.
Yeah.
After about 2 weeks, they realise that it's not quite the style of riding that we're looking for.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, there are 3-week courses, there are 5-week courses, which you're in the middle of at the moment, which is an advanced course. So when they come here, what do? You don't throw them straight on a bike, even if they can ride. There's obviously
There has to be an input on in classroom.
Yeah.
They have quite a bit of classroom input. They have a lot of books to read and highway code to memorise and motorcycle roadcraft. So it's not just a matter of getting on a bike and going out there. They've got to look at the theory first.
Right, and of course there's the gear as well that you wear, which is very distinctive. You all look the same, look very smart. I mean, you supply the students with the gear?
Yes, we have the stuff that they can put on as health and safety wise to make sure that they don't hurt themselves if they do have to fall off.
Right, and that's here, the gear, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And speaking of gear and equipment to wear, I know just the man.
So here we go. This is a full layout of the kit that the lads use. This particular setup is ready for someone, well, I think it's even been used, it's not new, but this will be a measured up kit ready for someone's action. You've got the obvious, the gloves. Got a balaclava here, a neck tube type thing, keep the old chin warm. This is a lined jacket, and you can see from the inner zip here, this is evidently one that you can take the inner liner out. So one only assumes that in the winter they'd wear the liner over the leather jacket, and in the summer they'd take the inner liner out and they'd just have the reflective jacket, and as Mick said earlier on, the lightweight one for summer use. There's a pair of boots here, and these I can tell from the liner, and those of you who've been shopping recently would know that this is the in stuff. This is good for soaking up your body sweat and so on, keeping your feet dry, and I believe these will have a waterproof liner. Your leather gear here, and your leather jeans, reflective belt, and presumably when they haven't got the belt on, they can't carry the bits and pieces such as the handcuffs and all the fancy stuff that they lock you up with. And this is the BMW style helmet. These are rather ideal for their job because, as you've noted from when you see a policeman, if he's tapping on the window of the car or if he's pulling you over on the bike, he flips up the front unit so he can talk to you and tell you about the illegal number plate you've got on and the noisy exhaust. Another pair of boots, highly polished I might add, and this shows the fact that whoever owns this particular kit does take care of it, and you rarely see a dirty scruffy motorcyclist, bearing in mind that he's out there 5-6 hours a day. Pretty damn clever really the way they keep tidy, and a pair of waterproof trousers. That's the whole kit. Now Mick promised me a bit of a measure up jobby. I hope it's an attractive young lady who's doing it. I'm going to go and get measured up, see you in a few minutes, styled in my new motorcycle clothing. Can you believe this get-up? Made to flipping measure. Must have used an elasticated tape measure or something. Got the documents mixed up or something. But someone is going to answer to this. I'm going to have a word with Paul and then maybe Mick, Big Mick. But the truth being is, I'm geared up and ready to roll and going out on the bikes.
So beware, there's a new sheriff in town.
Well, at last, we're actually on the road with some of the students here. Mick, what's going on here? They seem to be riding around.
At the moment, they're just practising the disciplines they've been taught with regard to making sure that they look in the mirrors before they do any deviations, make sure they signal if it's necessary, make sure they give a lifesaver to make sure that there's nothing trying to get up the inside or offside, depending which way they're going to turn.
Right, so they're going round a predetermined route that you've worked out
route,
with
yes.
Left-handers, right-handers?
Right-handers, includes stops, includes giveaways. Just to see that they are getting the disciplines right before we go out on the road.
Right, you're in contact with them, actually? Well,
yes, I'm radio contact with them, yes.
Yeah. So you'll be watching the feet and the signals and the...
I'll be watching to make sure they do it right.
Right, and what if they don't do it right?
then I let them know they don't do it right.
In
the most...
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right, in the most diplomatic way, yeah. Right, so, I mean, we're not going to ride round here all day. I mean, they've done some classroom work, they're on the bikes, and where do we go from here?
From here we go out on the road and we practice the disciplines amongst the traffic.
Right.
Because that's what they're going to encounter on the course.
And you go out on a bike with them?
I go on a bike with them, yes.
Right. I noticed there's 2 lads we've got riding around here. How many's in a class?
There's normally 3.
Is there?
It's normally 3, yes. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the second week, number 3 had a slight accident.
Oh, right.
Where he dropped the bike due to training deficiency, really.
A basic error?
A basic error.
Right, and is he all right?
He's fine.
So you're going to go out with the lads now on your bike and you're in contact with them? And
I am, yes.
And you'll be watching very closely?
Yeah.
Right, I won't detain you any longer, I'll let you get your gear on.
OK, thanks very much.
Well, we're back in the office now, back behind Mick's desk here. Mick, there's quite a bit of paperwork involved for the students, we know, but there's a fair bit for yourself as well on this course, isn't there?
There is, yes. I've got to prepare their examinations, I've got to do the daily reports on how they're going on, update them every week with a report on what I'm looking for, and prepare them for the following week.
But your course is quite a bit more intense, probably. I mean, 5 weeks?
Yes, but 5 weeks, they need 5 weeks to get to the standard that we require them to be at.
Right,
we're talking about police motorcyclists, the public are looking at them, and we're making sure that they ride in a disciplined, controlled and safe manner.
Yeah, and for them 5 weeks, they're here at the driving school, what, for 8 hours a day?
They come here for 8 hours a day. They're on the road probably for anything up to about 5.5 to 6 hours.
Per day?
Per day.
For 5 weeks?
For 5 weeks, 5 days a week.
That is very intense, isn't it? Yeah. So you presumably later on towards the end of the course you go out on long runs and show them every type
as the course progresses, we go through different sorts of situations. We teach them different techniques. We teach them how to overtake. We teach them how to position themselves. Yeah. We teach them safety and defensive riding.
Excellent. Right. And the bikes that the students use, are they their own bikes for the course? Are they allocated a bike for that course, and do they stick with that particular machine? Each
student has a bike which he will stay with the amount of time he's riding that particular CC bike or that particular model of bike.
Right.
When he moves up further to the more bigger bikes, then he stays with that one as well.
So he has to clean it in the mornings or in the evenings?
Well, every time we come back from a run, because we don't always get fine weather, even if it's not fine, we still wash the bike off, leather it off, ready for the next day.
I noticed they're absolutely spick and span, the bikes.
And at the end of the time that they're on that particular bike, it's polished, waxed and put away for the next course.
Right. And the bikes that you're using here at the moment, they're all BMWs?
They are at the moment, yes, the ones that we are using.
Is that why is that? I mean,
well, that's what the police are using at the moment.
So whatever the police are using in the field, if you like.
Greater Manchester use BMWs, so we train on BMWs.
Right. And about the maintenance of the bike, I mean, they're looked after here, aren't they? The bikes?
They are, yes. They have workshops just not far from here, just over on the top of the complex.
And
and they're responsible for the maintenance of them.
I had a peek through the window before. It's extremely well equipped.
It is.
Yeah. In fact, we'll show you one of the best equipped workshops you're ever likely to see. Now we've come to the police workshop. This is the motorcycle workshop, one of probably the best equipped workshop I've ever seen in my life. They've got every fancy tool here, all these specialist tools you need for undoing them little hard to get at bits and pieces. They've got the lot here. Every fancy gadget you could ever wish to see in a workshop. They can do just about anything in here, anything from a basic puncture, perhaps a tyre replacement, to a full engine rebuild, a stripped down servicing, you name it. These lads have got the technology and the expertise and the backup to get any job done. And if you remember, Mick Bird earlier was talking about one of his pupils coming off, the reason he's only got 2 on his course instead of the 3. And here's the evidence of said accident. Not a massive amount of damage when you first look. Obviously the wing mirror's gone somewhere on there. Down here, the crash bars, and it just shows you the value of the crash bars on a bike. I mean, they've saved a tremendous amount of damage to the engine. They've bent up and bashed into the fairing, so it's a new fairing, new bars. This one here has actually broken the mounting plate for the foot peg, which has disappeared completely. But they've saved an awful lot of damage, mainly cosmetic, and these lads, believe me, they'll soon put this thing back on the road. Now, if you're a home mechanic, this is going to make you really sick. Just look at this. This is an Aladdin's cave of bike bits. Now, all you BMW owners, just think how many times you've had a go at taking something apart and you've got a screwdriver stuck in the end of a socket and a blooming ring key round the end of a blooming Tommy bar and all sorts. You've got every possible tool here, all the bits and pieces to get all them fancy gadgets apart. And further in here, it just goes on and on and on. It's not just BMW. There's Honda spares, there's all sorts of bits and pieces. You name it, there's brackets for this, bearings for that, screws and nuts and things for this, and oh, it's fabulous. I love it in here. Well, we've looked at the training, you've seen the intensity of the training, the things that these lads go through, all to become a police motorcyclist. Believe me, when they leave this place, they really can ride a bike. Speaking of which, here's a load of bikes that have been serviced, repaired, put back together, whatever it is they had wrong with them, all waiting to be delivered back to the bike wing. And that's exactly where we'll be going next time.
Great.
I'm one of you. We are one.
Well done.
Been initiated. First blood. Yeah. Yeah.
You haven't got to use your full amount of revs.
Yeah.
Short shift it.
Yeah.
You know, Scott.
Yeah.
Short shift it in
Yeah.
between the corner,
Yeah.
from the right to the left, in between the flick,
Yeah.
and then give you a smoother run down for the corner. Especially in these conditions, because you know you don't want to be right on the sort of revs. If you're at the top end of the revs, the bike's a lot more responsive, and it can soon, you know, obviously give you a wheel spin. So try and just always short shift it, choose your gears. All right. Any other problems, Scott? Do you feel happy about it?
Yeah, it's just the wet conditions, isn't it? Don't know
Yeah.
how far to lean it.
No.
Don't know how to push it.
quite well, mate.
Hey?
You were getting over quite well.
You were like that.
Yeah, well, but I just...
Right, mate.
I've never raced in the wet before.
No.
always
It's
done it
very
in the dry.
difficult. This is a new surface. And
It's
the
drying
sun-
out quick, though, isn't it?
There is getting a dry line down at Paddock
Yeah.
there. There is now a dry line through there. But saying that, you know, I was watching when we let that other lad through, there's actually his tyre was wet. As he come through, his tyre was wet. So we've still got to be on the cautious
Any
side.
other scary bits coming down here?
Paddock.
Braking.
No, it's not so much the braking, it's just the sheer look of that drop. You're like, oh.
I mean, both looking in both your lads were riding really well, and he was nice and smooth. He didn't seem to be making any mistakes, as far as I could see. But obviously, the next session, I will sit in behind you and be able to
I have
watch.
to say the weirdest bit is not seeing any brake lights.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so you, because
Is my brake light working?
Yeah. There's
mine.
about 30 of us go out on a Wednesday night to a sort of local bike meeting. We go a bit hairy down there, but you know you can see each other's brake lights. So it's not so bad. And I found when I was going up to the hairpin there, I was like coming up on top of Scotty, and I was like, oh.
I think you're both going around about the same speed. I don't think we're going to up the speed a little bit more, but we don't need to up it much more. That guy that passed us there with the black and red leathers, I mean, he was fine, but he was leaning it over, and I thought, you know, his tyre's wet.
Yeah.
He could soon go beyond his limit.
Everyone's just come back from their first circuit, or for their first session rather, and you saw me what I was like when I first came back just then. We are one. I was just ecstatic, but now I'm calming down, and I'm with Alan Batson, who's kind enough to take me out today, and let's find out what really was going on out there for me.
Well, you actually did very good for your first time out. She did really, really well. Obviously, very nervous to start with, but going around all the time, I was keeping an eye on her, and I could see this big, broad smile all the time. So you were obviously enjoying it.
I was enjoying it. That's me. Next session. What I'm finding is it's so new, but it's just literally finding where your limits are on the bike and knowing the bike and knowing its whole equilibrium, the whole balance of the bike. How do you think? Do some people take to it more quickly than others?
Most of the people come here obviously been used to riding a lot of road bikes with their fire blades and stuff. So it'll take a while, but the thing is to take it really gradually and get confidence in the bike. Once you've got the confidence, you'll find that everything will just click into place and you'll go really well.
So if the conditions were better today, you see my little knee creeping out for balance then? I did it. I know I'm actually beginning to shift on the saddle and not feeling you know, I mean, you've got to counterbalance in that way, because I used to think, oh no, knee down's just for white boys, you don't need to do it, you can take your bike around a bend without doing it, but it's essential, isn't it?
You do need to do that to get a feeling of where the limits are on the bike. On a nice day, we could be out there scratching and having a real good fun. Today isn't really a very good day because the conditions are in between, so it's very, very slippery out there and very tricky.
So what's next for us?
Well, we'll go out again, and hopefully we'll go a little bit faster this time. And you'll be able to concentrate on getting the gear changes in the right place, just balancing the bike out going into the corners.
I have to say, it took me about 4 circuits before I even started thinking about gears.
Well, the racetrack is such an unusual place. If you haven't been out there before, you lose your balance and everything out there. So once we go out again, you'll find yourself liking it a lot more, and you'll be used to the environment. So you'll do much better and you'll feel much more confident this time.
Thanks, Alan. Sean's just reassuring me about how this is going to do the world of good for my confidence on a bike.
You want to be out on your CBR after this?
Definitely. I will want to be out on my. I know. I really do enjoy it. Is it everything you wanted it to be? It's your first time on the track, isn't it?
It is, and I've got to say, I had a real bad scare when I bought my bike last year. Had really bad tyres on it and had some really bad scares. Changed the tyres and I really love it now. But I'm really impressed. It's so wet and these bikes are just so capable. I'm really surprised. I was thinking that, you know, I'm so used to my ZX7 that I thought I was going to be a bit scared of the Thundercats, but you know, I'm well impressed.
They're lovely, aren't they? I mean, I'm like Miss Know Nothing beginner here, and I've really enjoyed it.
I won't be doing that. No, that will not be me.
In your dreams, too.
In my dreams, yeah, definitely.
To analyse how you're getting on. We're doing right, we're doing wrong, yeah.
This is amazing. I've just had my first go on a track and I'm stood here just calming down. I feel so mellow, it's unbelievable. And you've got Mackenzie whopping around there. It's such a treat. If you come and do a race day and you've got the good fortune of some of these guys training at the same time, do it. It's brilliant.
Come on, okay, brilliant. Yes! Scotty! 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 Hey, look! Knee down, first time ever! Well, Chuff.
Bit slow, didn't it? Which one? You was going for it now, good, and I was pleased you were riding very, very well.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That's the first time ever. I've never got my knee down.
Well, that's progress, isn't it?
So I'm well chuffed. Yeah, it's made my day.
Just dried it out a lot.
It is drying out a lot.
It's getting a lot better.
So Alan, tell me how I did on that time.
You did really well. You're growing in confidence. Our speed's coming up. The corners that I told you to correct on, you were correcting on. The lines were getting good. It was fine.
I actually struggled with the gears a little bit.
The gears are one of the trickiest things.
Still something I'm not comfortable with, because every time I did do something, something would go and I go, oops. You don't say oops when you're lying at the side of the road with an ambulance beside you.
Gears are a problem, and it will only come with practice, definitely. Just working to be smooth on the gears, and being in the right gear at the right time, and it'll be easy.
It's the same with everything, isn't it, really? Say no more. Absolutely brilliant. That really sort of made it happen for us today. It's Tim Jones, who is the general manager of the race school. How long have you been in this post?
I've been actually involved for 2 years with the bike school, but I've been involved in racing for many, many years, all my life really.
Right. And what sort of people? What sort of people are you getting here?
All walks of life. With obviously everyone that comes down to the Brans school or to the Cadwell school, they have to have a bike licence for the road, but all sorts, all ages, as long as they've got a licence, they're welcome to come. Lots of women come down more latterly, and you know, it's lovely to see them.
I bet you've seen more women in the last year then, I presume, by what you've just said. Why do you think this is?
I don't know, I think people are realising that out on the road it's getting too congested and it's awful sitting in a car, so more people are taking the initiative, particularly in the south, to go out and get a bike and ride it on the road, particularly in London.
Excellent. What problems have you seen or encountered here?
No problems really. The problems we get are people's confidence, either extreme, either when they get onto the bike in the pit lane they're sort of wobbling out because it's not the bike that they're used to, where we'll take that person to one side and say, well, perhaps we need to have a chat through this first, or to the other extreme where someone thinks that they're Mick Doohan and off they go and try and prove it. And obviously we do get some people sliding down Paddock Hill Bend or the Gooseneck at Cadwell on their bottoms.
Do you ever get out there yourself now?
Occasionally, I'll have to admit it. It's just the biggest buzz. This is my favourite activity. I run the Nigel Mansell Race School as well, and all the activities at our circuits. But this one, I actually get a buzz out of it, even just on a racing school day.
And what about costing? How much is an average? Say what we did this morning, which is the introduction to the race school and going through 3 sessions.
Right. Well, you've done which is actually the advanced school. Okay, but the introductory course at Cadwell starts at £90, which is amazing value considering that we're providing all the kit, the bikes, the instructors who are of a very high calibre. That's around £90, and the advanced school starts at around 200, but you can do that here at Brans and of course at Donington. We run it at Donington as well.
Fantastic. Can I just say a big thank you from all the posse that was here this morning for letting us come and be part of your race school today. I've loved it.
Who was riding bike 21? Me. Have you got the ignition keys, please? Thank you very much.
That was no setup, that was the truth. Right, come with me. I'm going to ask everybody what was the best and worst thing about today for them. Shawnee?
Hey, best thing, knee down. First time ever.
Was it really your first time?
Seriously, yeah, the first time ever ran Clearway.
Best things about being at Brans Hatch. The worst thing was the weather.
Lawrence?
Well, the best thing was I got my knee down, but I also got my head down, my elbow down, and all my side of my body. But no, it's a good day. Enjoyed it. The weather wasn't too good, but yeah, it's a good crash course today.
Well, I didn't get my knee down, so that's the worst thing. But I got my toe down. I ground it down. But no, it's a great day. Great day.
It was just getting on the track. I'd never been on a track before, and it was wonderful. The weather was a pain, but because I'd never been on a track before, it was just absolutely wonderful experience. It's amazing. It's amazing the experience, how fast you can go around corners, especially in the wet. When it's in the last session, it was pouring with rain, and it was still brilliant. It was really good.
You got an excellent score, especially first time race school and your very little experience on a bike. You got 140 out of 200. You had Alan Batson. Alan wrote, very good overall performance, great potential, well done. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Great.
So well done.
Thank you.